other questions, raise your hand. Sarah's in the front here with a microphone. She will bring it to you. If you have a question or comment, we've got someone here. Thank you.
We were just talking about with they're not considered a child before birth and after birth. It's not, this all comes down to legality. Why can't I vote, for instance, if I'm 17 and 364 days old, as opposed to 18 days, or 18 years old? I mean, there's a whole legality. It has to be a cutoff somewhere. That's where it comes from.
You're right. There has to be a cutoff somewhere. And so we have to ask ourselves, does the cutoff we draw for certain rights make sense? So there are some rights which are things like the right to vote, the right to drive, the right to drink, all these things, where we do have to pick an age, and in some sense it is arbitrary. But there are some, reasons for why we draw the line at a certain age, and yes, obviously, if you're only a few days away from 16 or 19, there doesn't seem that much difference, but a line has to be drawn. But when it comes to other rights, not these practical daily rights of things we may do or not do based on our abilities or our age, but the right to life isn't something I give you, because if I give you the right to life, it also means I can take it away. The right to life is an inalienable right. It's an inherent right. It's something we have by virtue of our existence. So I don't gain the right to life by doing something or accomplishing another thing or appearing a certain way. I have the right to life based on my very existence. So the question is, do we draw the line at birth? Do we draw it at 3 or 6 months before birth? And if we draw it there, why? And the only difference between a child at fertilization and the child 3 months after that, 6 months after that, or 9 months after that at birth, is that over that period of time, the unborn child has gotten more developed, has become larger in size, and increasingly independent. But those are changes which occur after birth as well. The least arbitrary of the lines, the one that makes the most sense, is to draw the line when we first exist. And we know we first existed at fertilization. It doesn't make sense for us to say, I once was a sperm, because we weren't sperms. It doesn't make sense for us to say, I once was an egg, because we were not eggs. But it does make sense for us to say, I once was 5, I once was 2, I once was a newborn, I once was a fetus, and I once was an embryo. And since each of us began at fertilization, that is the point at which we should protect the lives of an individual and recognize other rights about voting, driving, drinking, etc. are more age-based rights. But the right to life is not an age-based right. It's an existence-based right. Great questions and comments. Go ahead.